Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So this tutorial is a continuation of our C++ series that we began earlier. In this series, in this tutorial, we're going to look at the built-in math functions in C++ and the C header math functions. Okay, so let's begin with the basic built-in math function, the max and the min. So we pass in two values, and max will return to us the bigger one of these values, and min will do the exact opposite and return to us the minimum of this value of these two values. So I have created a simple C++ program over here, int main, and then using a space, so just to save time. So I'll simply do a cout. So this should be cout, and I'm simply going to do max between 20 and let's do 50. Okay, and then we can just end that line. Okay, save this, and then I'll run my program. So we can see here I got 50, right? So 50 is a max, the biggest is bigger than 20. That's why we get this 50 back. So let's look at the mean. The mean, we can just guess what the output is going to be. It's going to be just 20, because 20 is the minimum of between 20 and 50, right? So that's the all about the mean and max functions in C++. So let's go over to the math library in C++. So C++ provides us with a library that gives us more functionality. To simply use this library, you just have to simply include the cmath header file within your code, and then you can use some of these functions. So let's take a look at some of these functions. So you have sine, and you pass in the radian value of a certain value, and then return to use the sine of that angle. The same with cos, tans, sqrt, this returns the square root. Ceil will round up the value, floor round it down. So let's just take a close look at this in the program, so this will be much clearer. So to first do that, let's first go ahead and actually include the cmath library. Okay, now that you have done that, I'll just simply create a value, int x. Let's give it a value. Let's not give it any value, so I'll just we output x here. So x will just be let's start with the square root. So sqrt, the square root. So the square root of 25, right? The square root of 25 is just 5. So if I run this code, and let's see what we get. You can see here I got 5 in my console. Okay, so that is all about the square root function. So you can also, let's go to other methods. So for example, let's use the ceil. Ceil will just round up the value. So for example, if I set point maybe 3, this will just round up the value to us. So we'll round it up. So let's run this, and then we can see we have 26, because we just round up 25 to 26. This is note that this is not the normal rounding thing in math. This just takes the value and returns to the very up of it without considering the value of this decimal place. Okay, so we also have the floor. So the floor will round down this value. So if whenever I run this code, we should get 20. We got 25, which is a round down value of 25.3. Okay, so we also let's take a look at other functions that we have. We also have the truncate method. So the truncate function rather. So truncate. So this will just do truncation, right? It will just remove the decimal part from our number. So it just removes this 0.3 and simply returns to us 25. That's what the truncate does. It removes the decimal part out. So let's go ahead and continue. Let's look at absolute value. So absolute value, it just returns to us the absolute value of a given input. So for example, if I say negative of this, so this should return to me the absolute value of negative 25.3, which is just 25. It also removes that decimal point out. Okay, so just remove this, and then you can maybe say 27, and this should return to us just positive 27 and not negative 27. That's what absolute does. So let's go over to power. So the power method takes in 2 arguments, right? So we just say power. It takes in 2 arguments, the first one being the base, and then the first one being the power that you want to raise it to. So 2 raised to 2, 7 rather raised to 2. The answer, you probably know it, is 49. Okay, so you have the 49. So that's what the power does. So it takes the base and then the power. Okay, let's move on to what else do we need to look at? Let's look at the round. So the round, what it basically does, round So just pass in here a value. So 7.4. Save this and run this code. So 7.4. We just get back 7. Okay. Now if I change this to 7.6, just close this, save this and run this. 7.6, actually the answer should be 8. Okay, so it rounds it off when this one starts when the decimal is 5 or greater than 5. So let's try this with 5 and save this, and then let's close this up and run our code. We get back 8 because this point is 5. So whenever it's 5 and above, it rounds it up. Whenever it's 5 and below, it rounds it it just rounds it down. Okay, so that's all about the math function. You can also use the sign. Okay, sign, you can pass in the radian values. Okay, so you save this and then run this. So you get sign of theta is 0. You can pass in the radian values. So this is all about. You can also use a tan. I can save this and run this. You get back -6. Okay, so you can just pass in the radian value and you tend to use the sum of that value. There's also arctan and so on. But this is let's keep it so simple. If you really want to go into depth about the math module library in C++, you can simply go online. A good resource is W3 Schools tutorials point Geeks for Geeks on Google. You can just go and search those sites. They have really just fantastic documentation on the math library in C++. So you can just go there to those sites and read more on this. So this brings us to the end of this video. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please consider subscribing to my channel and liking this video. It really encourages me to keep making this video. So thank you guys a lot. So in the next video, we'll actually be looking at typecasting in C++, where we convert one data type to another. So see you there. Please don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe to my channel. So see you in the next video.